Boom. Okay. All right. We're live. We are live. And what I want to do right away, now that we're live, while we're waiting for people to come in, enter the YouTube chat, please. If you go to youtube.com/CrownRightsMedia, you can enter the YouTube chat. Hopefully, we can get a lot of play there. That's where we get a lot of good stuff. I am going to load up the chat windows so we got them ready to go. Because I like to interact with you guys. It's a lot of fun. And man, today we have, boy, it's like every time I do this live stream, it's worse. Our nation is in worse shape than the last time I did it, and it's only been a few days. It's only been a few days, and it seems like we are far worse of a state than we were. When was the last time I did one? Thursday? I think I did one Thursday. Yeah, Thursday, and it's already bad. So let me just pull up my chat. I got my chats ready to go. Everything looks good. So I think all my pop-ups are going crazy. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do. Get this set up. Hey, while you're waiting for me to like get organized like a professional, be sure to share this on just hit the share button, hit the like button, comment, be sure to react, because I'm just going to tell you, it is hard. It is hard live streaming and getting any sort of attention whatsoever nowadays. I noticed that on my YouTube page, all the live streams I've done in the past few weeks are demonetized. That's not surprising. What is surprising is that I'm incapable of appealing it. There's no appeal option. It's insane. Like, there's no appeal option. And I don't think that's specifically my account that got targeted, but I do believe that it is because YouTube switched to a completely automated process because of the coronavirus, and therefore there is no ability to appeal demonetization. So we're just kind of like stuck. We're just stuck with the decision of the algorithm at this point. There's no way to appeal it. Sometimes I get lucky. But anyway, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you're taking the advice of your government, because, as you guys all know, the government knows best. The government knows what's good for you. The government knows what's bad for you. The government knows how you should live. The government knows how to run an economy. The government knows everything. The government is the God of this nation. And how dare you tell them anything else? Anything else? And as I was saying, let me just... This is like a carbonated apple juice, and it is fantastic. But it's carbonated seltzer water, but it has a very nice apple juice flavor. I don't know why I mentioned that. I doubt they'll ever sponsor me, but it's really good. I like it. It's a good one. So... Ronageddon, Coronagetto. People are saying Coronagetto, Ronageddon. So, somebody said things are way worse than Thursday, and they are not lying. So welcome everybody to the stream. Thank you guys for all joining in. Please be sure to like and share. Please be sure to comment, interact, be a part of the show. And as you guys know, I have a Discord channel. And what I'm going to do right now, in case you do not see it, I posted it on some pages. But be sure, if you want, you can join the Discord. And then I can take your phone call. Sort of like an actual radio show. I can take your phone call. So if you want to do that, just feel free to join the Discord, or if you're already in there, just send me a note that says, hey, I'd like to talk. And then I'll just call you up and we'll be good to go, and we can have an actual phone conversation, which I think is a lot nicer than just reading people's chat logs every now and then. Although some of your chat logs are really nice, especially the super chats. I love to read those super chats. Let me tell you, I love to read those super chats. So those are fantastic. So anyway, a lot of stuff we could talk about. I didn't know what was going to strike a chord the most, because there's just so much garbage out there right now. I feel like I've just seen every day a video of police officers arresting people, arresting Christians, or just arresting anybody. They're just the police are just frothing at the mouth to arrest people. I saw one video. I don't know if it was linked. I think it was. You know what? Let's start out with that video, because I asked for people to send videos that I should comment on, and somebody sent this video of a father that was being arrested. Hopefully I still have it. Let's see. Man, there's a lot of that one. Okay. I don't see that. I don't know where somebody sent that to me at. Well, anyway, I'll just explain it to you. Essentially, it is a father who is playing at a park with his daughter, playing catch with his daughter, completely violating the purity laws of the state, and they and they got arrested. Her father got arrested for playing catch with her daughter. That's how disgusting things are right now. That's how disgusting things are right now. And I want to know, like, we were talking about this when this first started happening, and I was pretty adamant that this stuff was going to happen. And people told me, like, you can go back and read my Facebook history. People told me that this is just temporary. This is not going to last a long time. It's not going to be a while. This is just a temporary thing. And no police officer is going to arrest people for being at the park or being outside there. That's not going to happen. To which I was like, you guys are crazy. That's absolutely going to happen. We're going to see it all the time. And now we're starting to see it every single day. And it's absolutely abhorrent. And it really, really is. It really is frightening. I don't know where I saw that video at. I wish I knew where it was. But anyway, it was a video of a father being arrested. And I think it was actually a state representative who saw it happening and filmed it. Or a city representative or whatever. So somebody said, Marcus, that is the story. But it's in the link. What's in the link? I don't see a link, Amanda. But anyway, so oh, my wife is the one. Oh, that's why I don't see it, because it wasn't. Nope, that's not it. That's not. This is actually really good though. This actually made me really happy. Let's start out the show with some laughter. By the way, this isn't an actual show. This is just me taking some time and interacting and hanging out with you guys. So anytime you guys want to interrupt, we can. But we have to play this, right? Like this has to be done. This has to be done. Okay, so this is yeah. I love these.
Alexa, how long will the coronavirus last?
The virus itself may last only 2 more weeks or so, but the faction known as the Democrat Party will continue to make it last psychologically for at least 6 more months. Their motivation is to thoroughly ruin the economy and blame our great President Trump for it. They are trying to stop his inevitable re-election by any surreptitious means possible. It is well known that people who do not suffer from TDS are too smart for this hoax and will not allow it to go beyond 4 more weeks. The lazy Americans with TDS will continue to milk the government for more money and time off from work, confusing it with being their sugar daddy. We can agree that not longer than 4 to 6 weeks and America will be back online.
So, I love it. I love it. So that to me is absolutely fantastic. I love that. My wife sent that to me. I love those little macros people do with Alexa's voices. Some of them are absolutely fantastic. That one was absolutely spot on. So, well, before we get into, let's do this. Let's now that we've laughed, now this is in North Carolina. David Benham from the Benham brothers. Flip Benham is their father, by the way. Flip Benham is twin brothers as the Benham brothers. They had a show on HGTV a while back ago, and I guess it got out that they weren't exactly a big fan of gay mirage, and they were kicked off their HGTV show pretty quickly, and now one of the brothers, David Benham, was outside of an abortion clinic in North Carolina, and he was arrested. And I want to show you this video because mainly, the reason I want to show you this video is because I want it to make you mad. Like, I want you to be upset.
Abortion clinic exceeds the number of 10, and we are an essential.
Here we go.
That abortion clinic exceeds the number of 10, and we are an essential federally recognized nonprofit charity that helps at-risk mothers and babies. We are within our rights to be here.
I like how it says they unlawfully arrested him. He wasn't just arrested. He was there with 4 other sidewalk counselors from Cities for Life. By the way, to whoever edited this, when you're doing these titles, it's a good idea to put some sort of background music.
We are practicing social distancing. We have cleaned our hands. We are offering help to these mothers. And if you're saying that we don't have the right to be here, then go in the abortion clinic and make the arrest there.
Mr. Benham, I don't have the authority to go in the abortion clinic.
So you don't have the authority to go in the abortion clinic, but you have the authority to bully us and our sidewalk counselors. Yes, you are.
I'm being as nice
Yes,
as I can
no.
be.
You know, you're trying to be nice. It's passive aggressive. But guess what's happening? I'm not budging, and our sidewalk counselors are not budging.
I respect your rights, believe me. But at this time, can you
Well, let me just stop right there, because this officer is saying, "I respect your rights. Believe me, I respect your rights. But I have a gun at the side of my hip, and I'm going to have to arrest you." Now, if you were to resist this arrest, even though the Supreme Court, by the way, did you know the Supreme Court has upheld that you can lawfully resist arrest, even to the point of using lethal force? You can resist an unlawful arrest. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think you're going to get anywhere by doing it, and it's going to be very hard to prove. But technically, you can. But to make sure that you don't lawfully resist an unlawful arrest, that officer has a gun on his hip that he will use if he has to. There is, and I've said this before on the show, there is not a single crime that you can commit that would not be escalated to the point of you being shot to death in our country. If you have a missing taillight, if you ignore the officer, if you continue to drive and not get pulled over, eventually it will come down to a point where you are at gunpoint, no matter what the crime is. If the government comes to your place and says to close your business down because you don't have an appropriate handicap ramp, and you say, well, I'm going to keep the business open anyway, they will use, that's what the guns are for. That's the only way the government has to get you to do something, is to use force. They would say, well, somebody say, oh yeah, well sometimes the government might just give you a ticket and might make you pay a fine. Yes, but if you don't pay that fine, eventually it's going to come down for a warrant for your arrest, and then if you refuse to follow that warrant, if you refuse to be arrested, that gun will come out. So ultimately, everything ends, every crime ends with an officer pulling out a gun and making you do something. So this officer respects the rights of David Benham, but he's going to violate those rights and arrest him. Don't believe a police officer. There's a good talk on that called Don't Talk to Cops. And one of the things he mentions is that one of the reasons you shouldn't talk to police officers is because you have no legal obligation to trust anything that a police officer says, because they have legal authority to lie to you to get you to comply. So never trust a police officer, especially when they say they respect your rights. So let's continue. This video just infuriates me so much. Maybe it's because it's so shaky at times. Maybe it's because somebody's clearly using a 50mm 1.8 lens, which has no image stabilization whatsoever, and has that signature shake. It has to be from that lens, but it adds a lot of drama though. So maybe that's why I'm infuriated so much by this video, because of the added drama.
I'll step over to you, yes, sir. I certainly will. Thank you. But you know we're right. You know we're right. And I appreciate you serving. I appreciate everything that you do for us.
Yes, sir.
But this is wrong, and you know it. You cannot tell us to leave.
Can't.
You know I am well within my...
Notice what the officer said. I can't tell you to leave. So, which is interesting, because he just said a few minutes ago that he respects David Benham's rights. That's a lie. It's not true.
My constitutional authority to be here. You know that I'm...
Yes, sir. It's in my vehicle.
You know that we're doing the right thing.
Did you need to escort me?
You need to go to the park and make arrests.
Okay, so who has their citation?
I'm getting hers in just a second so she gets your ID. Okay.
Sir, you know we are a federally recognized
Trust me when I
charity.
tell you, we wouldn't be doing this if we were not acting under advice.
I just want to make a correction. After looking at this shot, it seems like the camera person is pretty far back, which means he's using a long lens without any sort of image stabilization. So it's not a 50mm 1.8. It's definitely a long lens. No big deal. That's just the way my mind works when I watch videos. Especially of evangelism stuff. So
We have, I know you're acting under the advice of your attorney. We have the authority to be here.
We did not feel like we had firm legal standing.
I understand.
We would not be doing this.
I understand, and I appreciate your service.
Okay,
I really do.
So that's why all these police officers are here.
I understand.
We're prepared.
I'm very thankful
for this, and we, you know, if you want to make this, draw this line in the sand.
No, it's not me drawing the line in the sand. We are a recognized charity.
Who is it?
We are a recognized charity, and you know this. We are offering essential services to these mothers, and you know this. And we are practicing social distancing. We are doing everything well within the ordinance, well within the provisions.
It's a state statute.
It's well within the statute. We are doing everything.
Going back this way, partner. All right, thank you.
okay, now I want you to understand. I just want you to understand what happened there. Here's a guy doing pro-life ministry, I assume. Many have labeled him. I assume he was doing pro-life ministry wherever. I guess he was at the abortion clinic or whatever. And where is this? Charlotte. So Charlotte area, Charlotte Police Department. Absolutely, an abuse of authority. Although, by the way, did you know that officer respects David Benham's rights, even though he was willing to violate him and put him in the car so he can be a hero, get a pat on the back by a supervisor. By the way, because that officer's just following orders. Like, I'm telling you, I hear that all the time. The officer's just following orders, people. That's all he's doing. And it's like, at what point do you say, stop following those orders? Like, at what point does the police officer, let me put it a different way. At what point does a police officer, what point is a police officer in danger of hell because he's just following orders? And I would argue that officer right there is indeed in danger of hell. This video description, by the way, gives no information on, like, see the whole story in this video. But it doesn't give me, like, information. See, one of the things we have to do is when we make these videos of police being arrested, we have to put a contact information, non-emergency, for the district attorney or for the police department itself. Because you have 160,000 people that are watching this that are angry, 2,142 shares, and there's no number to call and no information on the arresting police officer or anything where we could FOIA any sort of information that we need to. But yeah, this is disgusting and repulsive, and it's shameful. And those officers are in sin. I'm just going to say it. The police department is in sin. So there it is. And somebody sent me this. Fantastic. Let me, where did it go? Yep, here it is. Let's go ahead and pull this up, because this is another one. Here's the video. It's this isn't the actual news report video that I originally saw. But let's play it anyway, shall we? By the way, a headline says, Colorado father 33 handcuffed in front of his 6-year-old daughter for breaking social distancing guidelines by playing t-ball with his wife and kid in an empty park. Yeah, it's interesting. It's an empty park. But anyway, let's play this. Shall we? It's terrible video quality.
Yeah, it's Sunday, and the Brighton police are apparently arresting a dad for throwing a ball to his daughter in complete isolation in a park of about, I don't know, 30, 40 acres. But apparently that is not allowed by Brighton. According to our police, he's not allowed to do it. He's being taken away.
In front of his daughter.
Taken away by the Brighton police.
In front of his daughter. Have we gone mad? Have we gone absolutely mad? Like, this is absolute madness. It's weird, because a lot of it just, like, it doesn't seem real. Like, a lot of it just doesn't seem real. Like, one, because they're not doing this in Arizona. So the governor has been very kind and merciful to us here in Arizona, and they're not doing this sort of stuff. So, but when you see this stuff that is happening, it really just makes me go insane. Shout out to, I guess it was Matt Mooney, who was the one arrested. He said, well, I can officially check being arrested off my bucket list. So he's being pretty lighthearted about it, but this is a pretty serious thing. That man, I want to just bring this to exactly where it needs to be. That man was separated by threat of government force from his daughter while playing a softball game. And that must have been traumatizing for her. I mean, it's disgusting. Again, police officers just following orders. They're just they're just doing their job. Thin blue line, represent. It's just it's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. And like, and so the question, well, let me just ask you guys this, for those in the chat or watching on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're watching. Was there anybody that maybe, let's say 2 or 3 weeks ago, when the lockdown started happening, were you like the ones that were like, yeah, Romans 13, let's just do it. It's just for a short time. And has your mind changed from the time we initially locked down to what you're seeing now? Because I was one very early on. I was like, this is crazy. It's out of control. The government's going to completely take advantage of it. And I'm proving myself right every single day. So that's not a brag. But it's just that we have to know that when the government takes your rights away, they're bloodthirsty for those rights and civil liberties. They're absolutely bloodthirsty for that sort of stuff. And they will take them any opportunity they get, which is why they can't get an opportunity. But is there anybody in the chat Barb says, I'm in Canada, and yes, we felt that way, and now we are starting to see what's happening. Good. I see. This is like, it encourages me. It does encourage me to know that there are people that were initially, yeah, let's respect the government, let's do what they like, let's be in favor of this, let's be in support of this, and now those same people are starting to go, yeah, it's a little bit out of hand now. But the problem is it's too late. It's too late. The government has already grasped that power, and they're going to take it with you. Somebody's like, no, sir, I've not been on board with this garbage the whole time. Look, whether you've been against this government overreach the whole time, or you're just now starting to realize, hey, I think we've made a mistake. Welcome to the team. That's all that matters at this point. Is just that we're all on the same team. Let's see. George Pittman, which by the way is my uncle, said this man was trespassing, and a world without laws is chaos. Uncle George, he was not trespassing. He was actually on public property on a sidewalk, which is how you can do abortion clinic ministry. He was not arrested. By the way, just for clarification, he was not arrested for trespassing. He was arrested because of the COVID-19 thing, because he was violating quarantine laws in North Carolina. And he's not the first person that's been arrested for being outside in front of an abortion clinic in North Carolina. So, no, he was not arrested for trespassing. So, had to clear that one up. So let's go to Tucker Carlson now. Tucker Carlson says,
sick, you know that intensive care is not something that doctors recommend lightly. Boris Johnson is.
By the way, well, I asked people what video they wanted me to comment and react to, and this was posted like 20 times. So I'm definitely going to play my reactions to this. I think earlier today, I saw maybe the first few minutes of it, or a few seconds of it. I'm not sure how long. But then when people started posting it, I purposely did not watch it again, so I could sort of live react to this. So
clearly in danger tonight, and that's a bad sign. Johnson is in his mid-50s and hale enough to lead a country. If this can happen to him, a lot of us should be worried. And we are worried enough to endure things that just a month ago would have seemed preposterous. Last week, Dr. Michael Ryan, he's a leader at the World Health Organization, announced that in response to the spread of this virus, authorities may have to enter people's homes and remove family members, presumably by force.
In most parts of the world, due to lockdown, most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some senses, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units. Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe and dignified manner.
I'm sort of speechless about this whole thing, because there's a man who's part of the World Health Organization, and he's saying that, look, guys, we need to take your kids. We need to take your kids away from you. We need to take your family members away from you if they're infected. So I think about that for a moment. We've come from, hey, the government is just suggesting, this stuff. Just suggesting. To, okay, now mandatory quarantines, we need to do that. To, not only that, we need to take your family members away by force, unlawful search and seizure, by the way, of human beings which is exactly what it is. Look, here's the thing. It does not matter if the police come and take you because you're sick with a flu or a coronavirus or whatever this thing is, whatever you classify it as. It doesn't matter if the police come and take you because you have a coronavirus or because you have a warrant for your arrest, or because they want to arrest you for a crime. Either way, the police, by Constitution, have to have a warrant for your arrest. So my question is, are they going to be making like warrants to remove people with COVID-19? And my question also is, this guy that works with the World Health Organization does not represent the United States of America in any sort of way. He does not speak on behalf of our Constitution, and he does not represent our freedoms and liberties that our country was founded upon. So essentially what you have is you have an outside government entity that's saying, hey, we're going to take your family. He does not represent or speak on behalf of the United States of America. And he's suggesting that the government come in and take your family. It's absolutely repulsive. I mean, I don't even know. Like, the very fact that we're having this guy. Now, see, this is what's so amazing about this is if 3 weeks ago I would have said this stuff, you guys would have called me Alex Jones. You guys would have called me a conspiracy theorist. Guys would have called me insane. And 3 weeks ago, I didn't say any of that stuff. All I was saying 3 weeks ago was like, hey, I think it's a bad idea to give the government this amount of power. I think it's a bad idea to give the government this little bit of power. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And it just like, oh, maybe it's not in the interest of our health and safety after all. Maybe, just maybe, the government might use fear to take, what do they call it? Oh, liberty. Just maybe that's what's happening here. Let's continue this nonsense, shall we?
Just so you know, we're coming to your house, seizing your children, and, quote, isolating them in a safe and dignified manner, whatever that means. Now, that's not something that under normal circumstances officials casually drop during briefings. It's the kind of statement that might trigger violence. People don't respond well when you threaten to take their kids. But Ryan said it like it was no big deal, and that's how the media treated it.
I mean, my question is, right off the bat, is like, what does it take to start a revolutionary war? Not that I'm suggesting that we take our guns right now and march on the streets, but my question is, like, at what point do we go, okay, we've had enough? Because a 1% sales tax was enough for them to throw tea into the water and start an international incident. And here we have people coming in talking about they're going to take our families. We can't gather and have church. Well, you can't go practice free speech rights in front of the abortion clinic. None of these things we can do anymore. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm honestly shocked. And maybe somebody can correct me, but I haven't heard anything about the removal of guns yet, which is really shocking. I predict I'll go Alex Jones. Why not? Why not just throw a weird prediction there? I predict within the next week or two, we're going to see some sort of implementation, shutting down gun shops, shutting down gun stores. You know what? No. I actually, wait a minute. I saw an article. I did. I don't know where I saw it. But the headline was essentially like, a gun owner declared himself essential and opened up his store anyway, despite So that's kind of already happened. So I can't even make conspiracies. I can't even like what is something I could say as a conspiracy that hasn't already proven itself to be true over this. I mean, was it in the Philippines they shot somebody for not having a mask on? I did see that. I don't know if that's the truth of that story is true or not, but I did see somebody told me that. There was the article that said they would shoot somebody for not social distancing. The police have orders in the Philippines to do that, so that actually happened. So I'm wondering what'll happen if, let's say, 50 to 100 people showed up at an abortion clinic in North Carolina. The police show up and demand that everybody be arrested. And if the people that went there defied the government and said, no, you will not arrest us, I wonder if guns would... Because I imagine that once the government starts murdering innocent people for practicing their rights on our nation's land, I imagine that's going to be a point of no turning back. I would hope. I mean, you see, the shortest memory of all are gun rights activists when someone's killed for a red flag law, right? So when you have someone like the guy in Baltimore, Dustin Limp, I think is his name. Limp, I'm not exactly sure his name, but maybe someone in the chat can correct me on the name. But he was shot with a red flag law. Everybody's up in arms. Everybody's outraged. Everybody's mad. And 3 days later, it's like everybody forgot about it. I mean, the guy was killed in the middle of the night by a SWAT team because he supposedly had illegal weapons when really they had screenshots that he wanted to form a militia in Maryland. Police come, SWAT team raids his house, shoots him, they search his house, and they only found legal guns. He didn't have anything illegal. Nothing threatening. My dad, who is actually watching this, hi, Dad, actually said it's already happened in Norfolk with Bob's Gun Shop. Well, see? See? I can't. Like, there's nothing I can make up. There's nothing I can make up. So yeah. So thanks for that info, Dad. Oh, that's awful. So, oh man. Well, let's continue watching this because I believe that this gets a lot worse.
Didn't make headlines in any of the major newspapers in this country. That's the kind of moment we're in. So how long will this moment last? Well, on Friday, Eric Garcetti, the mayor of Los Angeles, predicted that the first in a series of lockdowns will go on until June.
One of the things that just concerns me, it's not one of those immediate concerns, but is, this draws out through this.
Hold on. I know where this clip goes, and I just want to make this bigger for you guys. And I just maybe we could all focus on Anderson Cooper's facial expressions and to see if there's a sense of comfort about what this guy's about to say, shock, concern, or just I'm doing my job reporting this sort of trash.
Summer, and then the cold weather comes around, and then there's another wave of it. How do you, as a leader, how do you think about this?
Early on, when people said, is this just going to be a few days or a couple weeks? I said, no, I think it's at least 2 months. And I said, if we're successful in this, we can expect a second spike in the late fall or early winter. That's how viruses work. We better steel ourselves for a second and maybe even third round of this. But we also need to be nimble enough to know we're not going to flip a switch one day and turn the economy back on.
Yeah, see. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, I've had somebody on my show, and he's talking about doing this like 2, maybe 3 times. I would lose my flipping lid, man. I'd throw something. I'd have to throw a piece of technology somewhere because I would lose my mind. And here's Anderson Cooper, and he's just, yeah. This is what we've always wanted. This media is useless, man. This media is like is there an amount of too much government for Anderson Cooper to be like legitimately shocked by? I mean, like, Anderson Cooper is just staring at this guy, listen to this guy talk, and go, yeah, this is part of the plan. This is what I like. This is why I'm in this business. No need to question it. No need to ask how many lives this will hurt. But, wow, that's insane. That's insane.
A quote, second and maybe even third round of lockdowns. That's a long time. Former Obama official Jason Furman, who's now an economist at Harvard, predicts the disruption may be even more severe than that. Quote, we should certainly be prepared for a meaningful level of deliberate suspension of economic activity for the rest of the year. Well, it'd be nice to know that there's a good reason for all of this, and of course everyone wants there to be a good reason, sincerely. Yet the arguments for a prolonged national lockdown are starting to sound strained. In a much-discussed article on Medium recently, two academics from Pittsburgh argued that lifting the lockdown at all, even many months from now, would be negligent. Quote, as long as a large majority of the population remains uninfected, lifting containment measures will lead to an epidemic almost as large as would happen without having mitigations in place at all.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing to me that there are people out there who are living their statist best dream right now. There's people out there that are seeing this stuff. They're seeing this stuff happen. They're seeing the government just seize power, restricting people's freedoms, restricting people's liberties. They're seeing all this happen, and they're just like, way to go. Way to go. And that's really scary. Like, the crazy thing for me, I always would go through this, and we just see that this is just absolute despotism. It's absolute tyranny. It's absolute a destruction of everything America stands for, is what we're seeing. And yet people aren't outraged enough to be rioting in the streets right now. And so a lot of that just concerns me. That just makes me go, well, what will make you riot in the streets? Because, to be honest, if you aren't mad to a point that you want to riot in the streets now, I don't want to live in the country that reaches the point that makes you mad enough to riot in the streets. Like, I don't want to be in that nation. I want to pack up and leave that nation well before it gets to that point. If seeing this stuff doesn't upset you, and we haven't even I think James White mentioned this, but we haven't even seen the beginning of this yet. Once we start to see our restaurants and the stores that we attend and all these other things start to just disappear, like, this will be 5-6 months from now. It won't happen overnight. Once all these things start to shut down, that's going to be really eye-opening. Because a lot of it's probably going to be, I mean, like, imagine like a few months ago, right? We could go to Best Buy and get something. No problem. But imagine like 3 or 4 months from now, you just walk by and there's a Best Buy and it's shut down. There's red tape on the door. They packed their bags, sold their stock, and got out of there. Because the business can't just shut down for a month or two. It just can't do that. Like the Best Buy, all those sort of things, they still have to pay all these sort of expenses, even when their store's not open. They have to pay mortgages and they have to pay rent. A lot of it's rent. I don't even think Best Buy like owns a lot of property. It might be leased through shopping centers and stuff. So they're still having to pay rent during this time. They're doing all these other things. They have to pay corporate staff at least. They're probably paying a lot of the managers still if they're not completely just not paying people at all. So it's a real concern because that money is being spent. And the tank that holds all that money is getting less and less every single day, because those sales, you have to have those sales that keep up with it. So I wouldn't be surprised if major businesses just shut the doors very soon. That's why GameStop's trying so hard to keep their stores open and saying, "Hey, look, GameStop is essential." Because GameStop knows that if they shut down for a month or two, it's over for them. Like their stock is already trash. Everybody buys their video games online now, and there's very, very few people who are into the used game market enough to really even care to justify keeping Best Buy open in a reasonable means that you just can't go to your local game dealer at a flea market and get it much cheaper, by the way. So, or pawn shop. So GameStop knows, hey, look, we got to stay open. We got to stay open. So, it's essential for GameStop. And Darren says, it sort of is. Yeah. So anyway, let's jump to the Discord, shall we? Discord links are going to be in the chat. If you want to join the Discord, you want to talk, whoa, that's not the Discord link. Hold on. Let's get the Discord link real quick. I copied and pasted the Facebook link. Let's see. Copy this link, and then first to those guys in the YouTube chat. Boom, and then to those on the Facebook chat. There's the Discord link right there. So feel free to join the Discord. I'll take your phone calls. You can be a part of the show. And also, just a reminder, if you join the YouTube chat, you can send super chats. I'll answer any questions through super chat. Guaranteed immediate stop to the show, even if I'm talking to somebody on the Discord. So, let's see. It looks like we got some people here. Let's see. Hey, anybody want to join? If you guys are in the Discord, I see a lot of people in the Discord right now. So if you're in the Discord and you specifically want to be on the show, just send me a little note, a message real quick, and I'll bring you in. And while we're waiting for people to join, I got my music ready this time. So I got my little on hold music while waiting for people to join the Discord. You know what I love about doing this live streaming thing? I love that I can actually have actual conversations with you guys. So it's not like if I was just to do this show which when I first started doing it, I would just do it by myself. And then I started to do it live. And then a friend of mine told me, he's like, if you're going to do it live, you need to interact with your audience. That's what all the great streamers do. So I've had way more fun doing this sort of thing. This way, doing the Discord calls, doing the actual phone calls, stuff like that. And, the music. There we go. So I'm looking forward to hearing your conversations. Feel free to join the Discord. And we will, I'll take your calls, see what's on your mind. How are you feeling about the government? Do you still love the government? Are you happy with Donald Trump as president? How do you feel? So just send me a note in the Discord, and we will make that happen. One day, I imagine my show to have enough people watching that as soon as I say I'm opening calls, I just get flooded immediately with people that want to join, and then I won't have to have this weird awkward time where I'm waiting people. It looks like there's 2 people that just joined the Discord. If you want to join, just type something in the chat, and I will take your calls. Let's see. Let's go ahead and read through the comments and see what's going on. Anything interesting in the comments? Oh, it looks like Doan. Is that the Doan? Oh, did the Doan? Hey, look, man. If you're gonna join, if Doan's gonna join, should I just call him? I'm just gonna. You know what? Yeah, I'm calling you, dude. Hello? Hey, it says you're connected. Hey, there you are.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up, man? Welcome.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
Is this loud enough? How come I can barely hear you? I wonder why.
You can probably barely. I don't know why you could probably barely.
That's
hear
okay.
me.
I guess I'll just hold it to my. Let's see here. Okay. It's gonna go for it. How about that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, dude, long time listener, first time caller.
Well, thanks for calling, man. How's lockdown in Idaho?
It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all just weird because I do already live out on acreage in middle of nowhere, kind of, and so it just kind of feels. I mean, it's kind of what life usually is, but it's just weird, man. Everything's just weird. So, you know, but it's a good place to be locked down.
Yeah, but I want to talk about how you're using social media marketing to help small businesses in the area, like Tapped and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's it was just one of those things where, you just got to do what you can do. You kind of look. I mean, to me, that's where it's real brutal. I mean, there's obviously a trickle down coming. I had some phone calls today with people and just their businesses getting just slaughtered. But watching restaurants like right in front of you, people that have made huge investments into restaurants, which are already one of the hardest things to do, and to just see like, wow, they're just bleeding, and so it costs. It's almost the same amount of money for a restaurant to stay open right now as it is to shut their doors.
Wow.
So those who are keeping their doors open, doing delivery, curbside pickup, that sort of stuff, they're losing the exact same amount of money as if they just shut their doors.
Okay. Wow.
So think about that. So they're doing it to help the employees that they have and to help the community.
So I mean, how long can these businesses do that for though? Because they can't do that forever.
Well, and I mean, here's the thing. I think they can, but let's go another week. No one's ordering takeout.
Right.
I mean, there's this thing where it's like, it's really nice the first week or two. Hey, this is cool. Let's support local businesses. Like, but we're all going to run out of money.
Right.
Like, it's not really cute anymore. It's like, I mean, like, I want to support my local business, but like, I mean, I'm probably like most small businesses. Like, I maybe got 2 months, maybe. Like, I don't save money. I mean, nobody saves money. Like, that's not what you do as a business. You invest every dollar back into what you're doing. I mean, there's no such thing as a business that has all these, as far as small businesses, that have all this money saved up, and they somehow found a business that they could get a bunch of money to put away. And then they say, hey, now's a good time to start hiring people because we have all this money.
Right.
You always reinvest back into your company, so you're always going month to month. I mean, I don't know any small business that has more than 2-3 months reserves, and really that's about a month reserve, because once you start bleeding, you don't think in terms of, well, let's just go for 3 months. Like, you start making really harsh, really tough decisions. But that was my way to help. I was like, you know what? In one sense, it was really cool, though, because I went down there, and those are good friends of mine, and I've been bugging them forever. Like, you got to keep doing more social media. You got to keep doing more. Went down there, shot a couple videos, And then they said, hey, can you come back? Would you just spend some time with us? Maybe just teach us. And I went down there, taught them. Now they're on their own. You know, you teach a man how to fish, you know, went in there and just showed them, here's how to shoot. Here's what you do. Here's how you take pictures. Here's how you edit. And now they're doing it. So when we get to the other side of this, whatever that looks like, they're going to be more equipped than ever to be actually promoting their company. I just don't know what it looks like to get there.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, because I put in the same offer at my church, and I said, look, if there's anybody here with like a small local business, I want to just make videos for you guys to help you. Just at least to bring some sort of awareness to what you're doing. And I had a few people take me up on that offer, so that's exciting. But then, of course, one of the companies I worked for 2 years ago, they completely laid everybody off. So, I mean, they closed up shop. So it's like, I mean, they were bringing in, you know, millions, and they were just like, no, well, you know, we'll just reduce the staff to as small as we can. And, you know, all the clients left. And, you know, those clients saw social media advertising as a secondary and not a primary, which I think is obviously a mistake. Especially during this time when everyone's at home. But
yeah, and again, but I don't even know. I mean, you know, obviously I've been the guy screaming about all this stuff, but this is not what, you know, everyone's like, well, everyone's at home looking at their phones and stuff. But yeah, everyone's looking at their phones freaked out.
Yeah.
Like you've got all these guys that are like, now's the time to sell. Everyone's on their phones. Like, dude, no one's looking at their phone being like, look at this new pair of Jordans. Like, I had no idea. Like,
that's true.
Everyone's looking at their phone, looking at the body count. Everyone's like, wow, it doubled today. And you know, and you got all these like just the mindset, like, now's when we sell. We got a captive audience. It's like, no, man, you got to start communicating right now. And there's no playbook for this. I keep saying this is a broken play, and in the middle of a broken play, people are scrambling. And this has kind of been the first week for me personally, where it's not that it's normal, but, you know, and I was listening to everything you were saying, and, you know, the thing though is, I mean, you always have such a great take on the kind of, you know, what you were yelling is the Alex Jones stuff and all that. But here's the thing. You know, we don't.
I really try hard not to be Alex Jones, but it seems like every single day, it's just getting easier and easier just to go into that cave.
Yeah. I mean, I've got it. I mean, I think I've commented maybe on some of your posts, but like I've got kind of a different take on this. But my take has by no means takes away the fact that I'm freaking out. Like, so I don't want anyone to think like, oh, I'm sitting here all cool and calm. Dude, I'm tripping. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like I'm tripping trying to figure out, okay, how many months can I go? What's going to happen? Even if I lock down, I mean, Huge Blessing had another, you know, I mean, I had probably a 50% cut, worked back up, found ways to renegotiate, brought in a new client. However, if they start shutting down states, I can't get to them. So that'll be a whole other issue.
Right.
Right. So we're not there yet. I mean, some states are, I think, but so if that happens, that's going to be weird. But here's my silver lining. I figure may as well have one because everyone's got an opinion on this stuff. Here's my overall take on it. As brutal as this is going to be, and it's going to be brutal, like brutal. Someone said to me, like, you know, something about Trump, and I was like, look, like, I thought this is the guy that had all the bankruptcies and came back. Like,
yeah,
he's absolutely the guy I want right now because we're about to go bankrupt. We're already bankrupt. I mean, we're not bankrupt. We own America. Like, we could sell New Jersey and be out of debt.
That's true.
We could sell New Jersey and be out of debt. It's that. Who wants New Jersey? And boom, we're done.
Nobody.
Right. Well, no. But now China would buy it. But see, here's the thing.
Yeah, they would.
Right. They would have. But see, here's the deal. I really believe, and I think my take here is as dumb as anybody else's, but we're going to get destroyed. Trump's the absolute best person to deal with bankruptcy. He's going to say to China, we don't owe you any more money. We're done. You completely destroyed our economy. We don't owe you all those bonds, all that. No, done. It's ours. We're not paying you. And then China's going to go, well, you can't do that. And they go, yeah, but we just did it. And they're going to go, yeah, but on the world market. And they go, no, there's no world market. You screwed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so no one's going to back them. We're going to bring such a massive amount of infrastructure and building. That's a whole other issue. But we're going to bring it all back to America. And now this kind of unique isolationist concept that everyone said, like, you can't think that way. You can't. I think it's going to be a reality in regards to how it's going to be rebuilt. And so I could either be super bummed out, and at one level I am from a business standpoint. You know, everyone's doing their heart check and figuring out, like, you know, am I really asking for forgiveness of my sins? What's going on? I thought I was doing it right. I thought I was going weekly, communion. I thought we were down. Now I have to do like fasting. Now it's not good enough. Now we're like, okay, like, you know, everyone's like scrambling. It's like, okay, so we get through all this.
Right.
We get through all this. And I think it's a reset. I think it's I think the reset is going to be mind blowing. I think education is done. I think what's happening right now and what it's forcing people to do, the free market of being like, well, okay, well, I'm online now. We're all online. Okay, we're all homeschoolers online. And then you're online and you're like, wait a minute. So I have access to anybody?
Right.
I can learn anything from anybody now. What people are getting a taste of actually a certain kind of freedom that they didn't know they had. So as draconian as all this seems, I'm in the camp that I don't think government conspiracy, that people aren't smart enough to pull this sort of stuff off. You can't manufacture this. Like, this is not the kind of thing you can accomplish, right? So it's just idiots walking into it and then trying to then figure out how they can take advantage of it. Like, no one's smart, but everyone's like, oh, well, now that we're here, it's like, come on. And, you know, because you'd have to back it up to then Trump was the whole way. There's a conspiracy. They got Trump in place. Like, you can't. No. So what's happening now, though, and I think this is the irony, I think this is the sort of like silver lining, is people are tasting a certain kind of freedom that they've actually never tasted. I mean, I thought people were praying for government schools to close down. Guess what? You don't get to choose how God does it.
Right. That's right.
Like this is like.
Well, let me just tell you. Let me just for clarification, I have never not once complained that the government schools have shut down.
Yeah, I know.
That's the one thing.
No, I see you. I see you pouring out a toast every night.
Oh yeah, I was like, hey, another day. I mean, even if you've watched, I don't know if you've watched like a lot of the late night hosts, they're live streaming from home and they're using their kids in it, and it's beautiful.
Well, they're and they're looking over like, I didn't know I had a son.
Yeah,
like they're realizing, like, really,
right?
Like, this is, you know, like, it's, you know, and so there's just there is a certain amount of freedom that's actually being injected into this whole situation that is really interesting. And again, I'm seeing people, you know, I mean, I'm talking to business owners and I'm talking to people, and you know what? As horrible as it is, it's also a good time where they're like, you know, there's about 10-15% of people we kind of wanted to get rid of, and either they kind of got rid of themselves or now we can just get rid of them. Like, I was watching Tombstone last night. I haven't seen Tombstone in forever, and my wife and I wanted to watch it and show the kids, and trying to figure out which parts we're going to like fast forward through and stuff. And there's a part where I feel like in Gary DeMar now, I'm like quoting a movie to make my point.
Right.
But he, you've got Wyatt Earp, and he's asking Doc Holliday why, like, the young hot gunslinger, like, why, you know, like, why does he have this hatred in him? And he says there's this hole inside of him, and it's never enough, and all this stuff. And anyways, when like they basically go after the bad guys and they just start, you know, just destroying everyone, you know, someone says, you know, there's a line in there about that it's not revenge, it's a reckoning. You know, and there seems to be a reckoning happening, but the way God tells stories, like, it depends where you're at, right? And on how you're experiencing that, you know. And but something is being reckoned right now. And, you know, I have no idea how to get through it, except like, I got to get up every day and I got to keep working. And you can't panic in front of people. You can't panic in front of your kids.
Right.
Like, no, you're not allowed to, you know? And I think the only other personal upside is when all this started, I was like, the only selfish thing I kind of experienced was, so everyone's panicking. No one thinks they have a job anymore, or everyone's been fired and no one knows how they're going to pay their rent next month. And I was like, wait, so everyone's like me now? I have never felt so normal.
Right. Yeah.
Like, we're all a bunch of losers now.
Well, I like what you said. You said who knew that actually going into work would be the most punk rock thing you could do, right? Was it something you said like that?
Yeah. And
yeah, because everybody's working from home now.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I got to be careful. This was funny. I got to be careful what I say, which is, who would have ever thought this is like, because I've got to make some decisions next week about what I'm going to do on some projects. Now, you know me, I want to document everything. But then all of a sudden, are people going to turn on me like, you left your house? you killed you're killing people. Like, you know, if a man doesn't work, neither let him eat.
Right.
Like, and I do not believe, I mean, I even looked, I got an email from the government. They were like, you're a small business, blah, 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 this and that. And I looked at my qualifications and I qualified for up to $10,000.
They're just going to give you or a loan, or what is that?
Yeah, they just give it to you. I don't know if it's true, but my point is $10,000. That's it.
Right.
Like, what do you mean? And it was for people with like 100 and under employees. Like, oh, 10 grand. Like, first of all, I don't know anyone that's gotten their checks yet.
Right. Yeah.
And then we're already going to be in month 2 or 3. I mean, again, it's like running a business. You know what it's like to run a business. I mean, you go into debt kind of right away. You get some clients, but you're not getting paid for 30 to 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of just like, that's what we're doing right now. So I just don't know what this looks like in a month. But I guess what I was going to say was, the thing that I'm banking on is Americans do not have it in their DNA to not work.
Right. That's
like,
true.
We do. Everyone else does. I mean, I've been to Europe. I mean, they're done at 3:00. They're drinking wine. It's great. It's fun. You know, like their work, you know, they get up. Like, Americans we don't have it in our DNA, you know, to just stop working, you know? And so I'm kind of giddy because I think it's going to create a weird black market if they keep it going. And it's like, I would never have thought, like, I'm like, all right, well, now I'm that guy in North Korea, like selling cigarettes.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Like, all right, like I can't just sit and do nothing.
Right.
And so I think people are going to get real antsy. And I think those who do are going to do. And I think once that starts, it's going to be real hard. Like you said, unless someone gets shot, like, oh my goodness, like unless that happens, you know, like it could go either way. But I just don't think, you know, again, ultimately, Trump is still standing up there going like, I ain't wearing a mask.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like he's still the guy going like, I'm not going to follow the rules.
Right. Yeah. I think he's doing a good job. It'll just be interesting to see what happens. I mean, they've already pushed back the DNC convention till August to hide Biden as long as they possibly can.
It's just, I mean, there's some really funny. There's some funny things happening if you just like if you forget for a moment that you're going to be broke in 30 days. Like, there's some really funny things like happening. You know, like everyone got all Cuomo for a moment, like, Cuomo, we got to get Cuomo. And then he kind of started dressing up and doing his hair. Then everyone like realized, wait, that's his brother on CNN. Right. And it got all weird. And like, then they're like, everyone's like, wait a minute. Like then people start running the numbers and everyone's like, wait a minute, like if we're out of ventilators, how come we're not out of ventilators? Like you start doing some weird common sense things like, wait, so have we run out of ventilators yet? Like, right. I didn't think we had, like, it's just weird things. But again, everyone's watching, everyone's listening. And I think people are putting the pieces together. I don't know what it's going to assemble when they put it together, but people are watching, people are listening, and both sides right now are kind of over it, you know, except for that really, like, again, I don't know anyone that's into it right now. Even all my liberal friends, they're not into this.
Right.
So I don't know, again, so on the conspiracy side, I think there's opportunists who would take advantage of this, but I mean, again, government's already taken enough of people's money, you know, like, we're already in enough debt. Let's print our own money. Like whatever. Like we're already so far into the monopoly game.
Well. Yeah.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's like everyone's like, this is the final straw. Like you know what the debt is, right? Like,
yeah, we could take a little bit more at this point. Yeah.
You know, at least people are actually kind of getting a check, and it's kind of fun for a month. I just don't know what 2 or 3 looks like. And, you know, I'm just like, I was all right, well, I just got to keep hustling. I just got to keep hustling, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey man, thanks for joining.
Hey man, I got the app. As soon as you said it, I hit the link. I went to the app store. I'm like, I'm not going to make it. I can never install apps. I'm on. This is great. So hopefully other people will jump in and, Marcus, you know what a big fan I am of what you're doing and how you do it. I think we live in a time when people don't give credit. They kind of steal it. And I always tell people, I know you're sick of me saying it, but this whole journey for me, even into social media and being a creative agency, I still go back to that moment when we were doing Unstoppable with Kirk and his Facebook page got shut down, and we were all ready to make phone calls and yell at Facebook and all this stuff. And you walked out of the office there and you said to me, well, we should just lean into it and actually embrace and do a campaign that he got shut down. And it was like, I really believe that moment for me was a paradigm shift. And I think it laid the foundation for what I'm doing, you know, 7, 8 years later now of really thinking of how do we use these platforms to communicate. So props to you. I love how you think in these situations. And so I'm watching you so I can steal as much as possible.
Yeah, no problem, man. I like this. The live streaming thing is something I'm really
you're
big
on it,
right
dude.
now.
Like we watched.
Yeah.
I was telling someone, dude, when you do the debates, man, and you do the Democratic debates, I watch with my kids. I was like, think about that. I don't watch the news. I sat down with my kids and watched you do the live stream on the Democratic debate. Like that's how kids are being educated now by you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's really great. I do miss the lack of debates that's happening right now.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things. Plenty coming up.
Yeah, I think, but there's always political content and stuff to talk about, especially in this atmosphere for sure. So, but anyway, man, thanks. Anything you want to plug?
Just right now, I would plug a platform, which would be, if you're not on LinkedIn, just get on LinkedIn. I don't care what you're doing, who you are. LinkedIn is not a place for job resumes. LinkedIn is Facebook 7, 8, 9 years ago. The organic free reach you get on LinkedIn immediately is it's just where people want to be. So I want to give value to people. Whoever you are, get back on LinkedIn. It's not a joke.
Yeah, agreed. I agree with you on that one. So, and you post good stuff on there too. All right, man. Thanks, dude.
Love you, man. Be good.
All right,
bye-bye.
Bye. Man, that's always a treat to have the one and only Darren Doan call into your show. This you're welcome. You're welcome here anytime, Darren. Thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate that. That was really great. Anybody else wanna join the call? We're just chilling right now. We're gonna chill till my wife tells me dinner's ready. I think. I think that'll be our time limit, and she knows how to do that. She knows how to get a hold of me. So, what about Haven's dad? You said I have arrived. So let's see if he wants to take a call. Thanks, Darren, for coming on and doing that, man. It was really great. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Let me just do a call here real quick. See if he wants to be on the show. And doesn't seem like it's answering. So you can contact me back. Oh, yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for calling the show. What's your name and where are you calling
from? Markham, Texas.
Okay. What's going on, man?
Same stuff happening around the country. People, things are going crazy. I'm the pastor of a little Baptist church down here, First Baptist Church in Markham, and the officials did pretty much what they did everywhere else and decided that the Constitution doesn't apply anymore. So.
Yeah, that's what the one thing I've been saying like through all this is just if the government can take your rights away, then you can't be born with them.
Correct. Yeah, and the sad thing is to me is the Christians in Markham standing against you when you say, well, you're supposed to have these rights that are given by God. Get along, just shut up. It makes things a lot harder, especially, I even have a couple of people in my congregation who I love to death, but even them, they're like, well, this is dangerous. They have to do what they have to do. And I'm like, well,
yeah, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned the danger of it because I was looking at like the death counts, which are not that high in comparison to say like people that die of like heart disease or heart attacks, heart problems. 53,000 people a month die from heart attacks in the United States. 600,000 a year. And so, one of the things that concerns me is when we see a little virus like this that's killing, 10,000 people a month. That's a lot. 20,000 people.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. But I don't think it doesn't reach, like if we're not going to shut down fast food restaurants for the heart disease, then we can't shut down the entire economy for the flu.
That's right. And here in Texas, one of the things that we had just this last couple of days is they have all these figures and their modeling and everything that they have online saying what it's going to look like or what they think it's going to look like. And here a couple of days ago, they like cut all of our figures in half. So now they're only projecting like 2,000 deaths by August in Texas, which that sounds like a lot, but stretched over 3 months in a big state like Texas, that's really nothing. We'll have more. We have way more flu deaths than that in a 3-month period.
Right.
And so now you have all these figures dropping down. And what's funny is, but if you've been listening to the doctors that have been talking, they say that any measures you take, it takes 2 weeks about for you to start seeing those, measures or whatever that they're doing, the mandates and all that, to actually show up in the numbers. So our governor Abbott, was one of the holdouts that held out the longest, I think, as far as actually making it these mandates mandatory. And I think it was March 31st where he made it mandatory. And so all of that progress of so-called flattening the curve was done voluntarily. There wasn't even a need. I keep telling them there wasn't even a need for them to do it mandatory, So not only did we give up our rights, but we've given them up without a fight in a totally unnecessary way, for something totally unnecessary.
Yeah, yeah, and then the liberals have found a path to take your rights anytime they need to now. I mean, they've halted elections over this thing. So that's a great opportunity if you're a Democrat. That's like, wow. Like,
sure, I mean, they're turning us into Venezuela. This is Venezuela now. You know,
right.
I was literally going to the store, standing in line, waiting for toilet paper. We're living in Venezuela now.
Right. Well, hey, man, thanks for calling, and just hope your church is okay, and hope you're doing all right. And
we were meeting anyway. We started doing drive-up church, you know.
Oh yeah,
so
I love that
in the back lot.
Yeah, I love that drive-up church. That's really cool.
Then the next week, the governor said, "Hey, that's okay. You can do it that way." And I'm like,
it seems
glad
like
we have your permission.
It seems like all those years of trunk or treat really paved way for something valuable in our time of need. So
that's right.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, thank you so much, man. Thanks for calling in, and appreciate you listening and participating.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
Mm-hmm, you too.
Keep going.
All right. It's another phone call. See, isn't that fun? Isn't taking phone calls a fun part of the show? I really like it. You know what I like even more? I like it when people who like absolutely just disagree with me completely call into the show. That's always fun too. So I think it's great. So let's see what's going on in the chats. It says, I don't remember anywhere in the Constitution where it says, Perseus says, I don't remember anywhere in the Constitution where it says our rights disappear when a few people keel over from bat flu. Well, yes, that's absolutely true. I think that's a thing that's kind of like so strange. And as I was mentioning to him, I can find these stats. I want to pull these. It was actually on the CDC website. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's right here. Let's pull this up because this is really fascinating. By the way, if you're watching, please be sure to share the show. Like it on Facebook, comment, interact, be a part of the spreading the word, as they say. Thank you guys to everybody that's been watching and participating and talking in the chat. Really appreciate you guys interacting. And the CDC's website is really slow right now. The government does not have the server capacity for all the people checking the CDC. You know what? I think I can just go to if the CDC website isn't going to load, I think I can go to it's just here. Yeah, here it is. So let's take a look at this. This is the statistics for causes of death in the United States. So you can see heart disease, cancer, accidents, unintentional injuries, all this stuff. Influenza and pneumonia is 55,000 per year. Okay? So if we look at, let's see, I wonder, like, what are the, I'm trying to, maybe we can figure out, let's see if we can figure out what the, here we go, cases, total death, 12,000. Okay. So there's been 12,000 deaths from COVID-19. And then we were just looking at this. Influenza and pneumonia, 55,672. So we are well under that. And that website is not loading up for me. I guess a lot of people are visiting that website right now because it's very slow. But anyway, so 55,000 people die of influenza and pneumonia per year. So far, 12,000 people have died from coronavirus. Now, this is not to say that coronavirus isn't serious. This isn't to say that coronavirus shouldn't be treated with concern. But in terms of other things, by the way, abortion is not listed on this, although it should be, because that would outrank heart disease for sure. But anyway, so heart disease, 647. Let's pull up my calculator for a minute. Let's just do some basic. So 647,457 divided by 12 equals 53,954 per month. So people die from heart attacks. 53,000 people die from heart disease, heart attacks, that sort of thing. 53,000 people die a month from that. Cancer, 599,000. So that's about 50,000 per month die from cancer. And so these are things that are legitimately concerning and scary. And then influenza and pneumonia is down here at I mean, even if you were to take influenza and pneumonia and you were to take that number and you were to divide that, just a rough estimate of that, I mean, you're looking at 5,000 people a month that die from that sort of thing. So in terms of, now this is not to say that we shouldn't be concerned about these people dying, but in terms of just how many, like how drastically our country is changing over this, the businesses that are shut down, the small businesses that will never return, the unemployment, the economy just tanking, the stock market, all these sort of things that are happening as a result of something that is less than the deaths of influenza and pneumonia every year. And then, by the way, these stats probably will be radically different because anybody that dies of anything at the moment is considered a COVID-19 death. So even if you get shot and you happen to be your lungs fill with blood because you got shot in the lungs, and you start coughing up blood, that's COVID-19 death, according to all these hospitals. So. So anyway, all that to say is, like, we should be concerned with the amount of people that are dying from COVID-19, but not enough to destroy our economy. Not enough. So yeah. So I think that I mean, look, all I'm trying to say is, I would not in a million years say that the coronavirus isn't dangerous. It's not a problem we need to address. But it's not something we need to destroy our country over. And I worry that we've become such cowards. We're in such a sense of fear over anything. That we don't have any bravery anymore, and we look to the government as our shield, and not to Christ. And when that happens, we give the government way more power than they should ever deserve. And as Darren was saying, and I'm glad he put such a positive spin on this, people are going to bounce back. The only question is, will the government let them? And I think Darren's right. There is going to be maybe a weird black market that comes into play after this. Maybe, you're selling cigarette. Maybe I need to start a black market for vape juice or something like that. Who knows? Cigarettes, vape juice, chickens. Who knows? I mean, it's just very concerning to see people say, yeah, we should do this 2 or 3 times. Just purge the economy. It's very, very dangerous, very scary. And so, all that to say, thank you guys so much for joining the show. Thank you guys for being a part of it. Thank you, Darren, for calling in. Really appreciate everything. This has been great, a lot of fun. And I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic week, and stay encouraged, and think of ways during this time that I think that's people's hope, is during this time think of ways that we can be starting our own businesses from home, bringing in our own income, and not relying on massive corporations, not relying on the government for income, especially those that have government jobs like public schools or stuff like that. So again, thank you guys so much for joining the show. Be sure to like and share and comment. And if you are watching on Facebook or anywhere else, please go to youtube.com/crownrightsmedia. That's youtube.com/crownrightsmedia. And be sure to subscribe there and hit the bell, and that way you can be alerted to other times that I go live. And you can participate in the chat. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate everything you guys, every time you guys join the chat, every time you guys comment and like and participate and call in on the Discord. It really means a lot to me to know people are actually listening to the show and enjoy it and appreciate it. I get comments from people who send me messages all the time. Oh, one more thing before we go. My wife's dad called us up and was like, Marcus has a bigger platform than me. So you need to tell him about this. And he started to tell me about hydroxychloroquine. I don't know if I'm saying the name right. But anyway, if you do some basic research on this, all the media is talking about how dangerous this stuff is. Like, oh, this stuff is awful. It makes you go blind. All these terrible things. But the drug it comes from a tree in Peru, and that's where the drug started from. And the ancient Incas used to take this tree bark, and they would use it to reduce fever and chills. And my wife actually took this medication as a preventative for when she traveled overseas. And so that's not to say that the modern form, hydroxychloroquine, or however you say it, I don't know how to say it, isn't potentially dangerous in massive amounts of doses, and it's not something you should take routinely. But the way the news media is trying to just trash this drug, like it's incredibly untested, like it's incredibly not, like it's never been used before, like it's some weird dude making this stuff in an RV in the desert. Like, that's not what this drug has already been tested. We already know what it works for, what it works on. And like I said, my wife has taken it as a preventative against malaria for when she's traveled out of seas. You don't give dangerous drugs, life-altering dangerous drugs. You don't give those drugs out as preventative measures for travel abroad. You just don't do it. And so it's just really concerning to me to see the government or the news media so anti the use of this medication because Donald Trump said it was having positive results. And it's really concerning to me when we start to forsake what we know about medicine, what we know about science, for politics like that. Because obviously, if this drug does work, and Trump is saying that it works, and we need to use it. If it works, if it works, it makes Trump look good. But they found a way using scientists, the liberal scientists. They found a way to sort of spin a narrative that Trump doesn't know anything about medicine because somebody drank aquarium cleaner, and so now we're stuck with this medicine that does work, but none of the doctors want to prescribe it, and so that's really concerning to me. But anyway, I thought I would just mention that. I think that's important that we just start thinking rationally about stuff, and just not let the news media dictate what medication is. Like, that's really concerning when we know something can be helpful to people, but we hold it back because it makes the president look good. That's just, we've reached a danger zone at that point. But anyway, Thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. Thank you guys for participating, for liking, for sharing, for joining the Discord. Really appreciate everything, and I hope to see you guys again later this week. Maybe if the internet still works, government hasn't regulated internet usage. Who knows? You know, I say it now. I say it now, but we might not be laughing about it in a few weeks. So again, I don't know what that sign says. Someone just commented, number sign mill all day. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. But again, thank you guys. Thanks to everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks to Darren for joining in, and